are you right now? And can I come and like craft with you?
Please do. I am in my happy place, my craft room, which, yes, it's my sanctuary.
Oh my gosh. I was watching your new movie this weekend, and you're blossoming into such a woman. And as the fact that we were both kind of like, well, we both weren't kind of, we were kids who grew up in this business. And do you see yourself as an adult yet? Do you still feel like you're playing house? What is our deal?
I know. Well, I think that I've always been a child at heart, and now I feel like I'm kind of the happiest because I get to be a kid, but I'm the adult, so like I can have a craft room, and you know I can be responsible and still be my kid self.
I remember like people thinking that I was a kid for a really long time, and I didn't get that. I was like, no, I feel like an adult. You and I
could understand within your situation because you were so famous at such a young age, and you know, working with child actors, I didn't work as much as you did as a kid, but there is this like need to be a lot older and more sophisticated than you would be, you know, at school on a playground. So I could see why you're like, well, wait, no, I've just been doing this. I'm an adult at, you know, 8.
Yes.
Like I totally get that.
Well, we were both in commercials as kids.
I got teased so much about that commercial that it sort of traumatized me a little bit. And I had an audition for like a feminine hygiene product right after that while I was airing. And I was already so mortified about just talking about my dad's indigestion. I went to the audition and I read the sides and it was all about, oh, my heavy flow and what do I do? And I was like, I can't do this. I can't even talk about my dad's indigestion.
I love this story so much. I can't even tell you. I've talked about how like my mom would get me Filet-O-Fish every audition I didn't get, which was like, because then she was like, also like, watch your weight, but here's a Filet-O-Fish. It was really confusing. And
mixed signal.
Yeah, it's exactly. I was in this commercial as a kid. I know what kids do to you when you do dip into school, and it's merciless. Like, and you don't feel like you can complain about it because we have these amazing lives and we don't want to be like, Mom, school was hard on us. I swear, these kids are relentless. Well, then I would go to school the next day and they'd be like, do you think you're special because you got to skip school yesterday and act with Snap, Crackle, and Pop?
Yeah. Oh, I feel you.
You know what? We made it. We're adults. We're moms. We're getting to play moms. You have been happily married for 17 years.
I know. And he was really slow to propose. So we've actually been together like 20 plus years.
Really?
I was like, see, if you had proposed earlier, we could have like been celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary. I still hold him to that because I sort of knew right away. I was like, yeah, let's go. And he was super slow.
How was like your quarantine year, even though it's still going on?
Yes. I mean, you know, it's the roller coaster, but I certainly, it could be a lot worse. We really like being together as a family, which is a plus. And you know, I'm really good at like sort of making the best out of a situation. So when it first started, I was like, girls, we get to walk to school now. So we leave the front door and then go to the side door and we'd sing this like, you know, song about not getting coronavirus and, you know, like stuff like that. So obviously there have been difficult, you know, days and as well. But overall, I try to sort of realize that this is time that when they're in college, I'm going to be like, oh, remember when they couldn't leave the house? It was so nice. Yeah.
I know, it's so true. I don't want them to ever leave. I keep having fantasies like Olive could go to college down the street, but like still live at home.
Yeah, and the key to that is great snacks. You have to have like things that they're excited about. Yeah, so that's why I get all like crazy with my crafting food and stuff.